Yeah, welcome to our third podcast. That's weird.
Third episode.
Well, yeah, third podcast, third episode.
Our third podcast.
I just cheered
in
myself.
Just cheered myself.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyways, third podcast.
Yes.
What are we talking?
This one, it's all about spooky places. I think we were going with this one, right? Spooky places.
Yeah. We are tired, by the way.
Very.
Some of us are tired. Some of us are tipsy.
You know what? It's
So
good to
it'll
be all
be-
of them together.
Yeah. So, who has something spooky to talk about?
Okay. Any one of us got any spooky places or haunted places that they wanna bring up?
I think Matt has one, but I think he's
Yeah.
not talking about it.
No, you're smiling, Maddie.
Hint,
Get
hint.
closer to your mic and speak your
Speak your
story.
truth.
Yeah,
I don't
your
know.
truth. There you go.
Well, do you guys want to talk about like
be closer.
freaking like was it last Halloween?
Last Halloween?
It was
I think maybe
What
the.
was the Halloween before?
I-
think if you're talking.
Wait, was
about
I
it,
there?
think you're talking about- Yes, you think.
I think it was one before then.
16, not 18.
yes, that was okay. So it was
17 we didn't do
October of
anything.
2016. That makes sense, actually.
Definitely.
Well, I think it's all about this house. Okay, I guess if you'd say, which is, I mean, a few kilometers away from our place. My friend and I, we're very good pals, and he lives only in the town right next to mine, so he's very, very close. So he would almost every day, or at least every second day, he would try to bike up to my place, and then we'd just like hit some mountain bike trails from there.
This is
Yeah.
Max, right? Max?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Making sure.
Yeah. And so one day we wanted to try out something new. We wanted to like kind of explore the area because I really haven't. Because at the time, it was 2016, so we only moved in
Like a
into
year or
this
two
place.
before. Yeah.
probably a year.
A year.
So 2015.
A year and like a month.
Yeah.
Because it was summer.
Something like that. Yeah.
So,
That sounds good. Sounds good.
Hadn't explored the area.
Yeah,
Very new.
that
to the
sounds right.
area.
Yeah.
Talking about houses.
And so we were kind of going out of the area, if you'd say. I mean, it wasn't like freaking 2 hours away, but
Yeah.
it was a good half an hour away by bike from our place.
Yeah, because biking it's not.
Yeah.
It's like flat land, but the thing is,
Yeah.
like, driving is a lot quicker.
And there's a lot of
like,
twisty, turny roads.
Yeah, I was
to
gonna say
where
around
I'm
here,
getting.
especially it's not like a straight like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Stop sign,
basically,
stop and go, stop and go.
we kind of hit this forestry area that was almost completely forest, and it's one of those long roads that you
It connects
barely
one
see
town
the
to
end.
another. It connects one subdivision to another, basically.
yeah, but yeah, it's just this long ass road
Yeah.
that you can barely see the end of
Yeah,
it.
and the
It's-
worst part is that it's super straight too. There's no ups and downs. Or
I think
Yeah.
it's one of the
It's just
only streets that's
completely
like
straight.
really straight.
much.
Like
It's
flat
like you
land.
go through all these
Yeah.
windy turns, and then you have all of a sudden this straight road,
yeah.
right?
It just goes on and on and on
Yeah.
for like kilometers, and it's kind of freaky in itself.
Yeah, and especially at night. At night is the worst time to be there.
'Cause there's all sorts of woods and stuff like that.
Yeah, you have to have balls to freaking walk around there. At least, yeah. Anyway, basically, we were kind of halfway from where that street starts and ends, and it takes a good hour, at least by bike, like to get all the way to the end. So we were pretty deep in there, and we noticed this creepy house on the left, which was, I don't know, right off the bat it looked abandoned.
Yeah.
The grass, the
Explain the
property
property,
that this house was on was pretty darn huge.
Yeah. it's
Not
Mind you, it's
in-
surrounded by woods and like trees and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's
But there
big.
are houses next
Yeah.
door, but it's
it's
a
like at
very
least, like-
large, it's a good there are very good spaces in between each house.
It's a
Very,
big size
very good.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
it
got a
wasn't
few
really
yards.
big size within like from street wise,
Mhm.
but from lengthwise,
In the
as
back.
in the backyard, it would
Go on.
it would just keep going on.
Forever and ever.
And so my friend Max was like, all right, dude, let's go check this out. It's actually super spooky. And for some reason, we were all like daring and we wanted to go check that out.
Wait, was this
course.
at night?
This was during the day.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah, I remember you talking about.
Fortunately.
That's good.
At
Yeah, I was
least,
gonna say. I was like,
gosh,
holy
Worst
yeah.
part
shit.
is that I think you got GoPro footage
Yeah.
or something like that.
So
Oh my gosh,
like for
spooky as
some,
frick.
and I deleted it, of course.
Oh my god.
Oh, of
Smart.
course.
I
Oh,
deleted
no.
it.
Very smart
Unfortunately.
boy.
Anyway, basically, we throughout the whole time we had the GoPro running, and the grass probably was not cut for a good year, maybe
Yeah,
even
eh?
a good 2 years. To be honest, who knows? I don't know
Yeah.
exactly how freaking grass grows, but that thing
Grass.
was at least waist deep, at
Yeah.
least
Yeah.
for most of the property.
Mhm.
And so we dropped our bikes and we approached the house, if you'd say. I mean, we came up to the door. There were no cars. There were no tracks. And it looks like, I mean, you could see where the driveway was. It was kind of this arc. It was an arc. It
Yeah.
wasn't really a straight driveway like with asphalt. You
Yeah.
couldn't see the
And
asphalt.
even in
There was
the
no
front of the
asphalt.
house,
There was a little bit of gravel left.
Yeah, I
that
was
you
gonna say,
could
it was
still
real
see,
gravel. Yeah.
but it was mostly grown out because of the grass and because
Yeah.
of the time.
Yeah.
But
And
also
so,
in front of the house there was that curb of like, pop in, pop out kind of driveway.
well, that's what I'm saying.
And then
Yeah.
there was the one that went alongside the house to in the backyard.
Okay,
where
it was
kinda
a
curved
kind of a
more.
dirt road, but we didn't see
Weird.
that. All we
Yeah.
saw was
Yeah.
that at first, the freaking curve and the house.
Spooky.
And so we went up to the window,
Oh my god.
and creepy enough, I don't know. I just had like a bad feeling about this. For some reason, I was just like more spooked out than I should have been.
Yeah.
You had a gut feeling.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so we both looked in the window, and right away we could tell we were 100% certain that it was abandoned. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
inside Christmas trees, there were 2 Christmas trees up and tons of Christmas decorations also were
Weird.
all around in the house
That's weird.
that we could briefly see.
At Halloween too.
Yeah. And
That's
it was not clean.
weird.
It was super dirty in there. The windows were completely dusty. You could barely see inside. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, considering it was almost Halloween, who knows? I mean, it's for sure it would have been at least a year
Mm-hmm.
if somebody would have been in there for, I don't know,
Yeah.
But
Yeah, definitely.
anyway, we were kind of like, we were interested, but also curious. So we kind of went in the back, and there was this creepy well in the backyard,
Ooh.
Oh my
and
God.
like, just you couldn't see much. It was very like creepy because the lawn was just so grown out.
Mhm.
The property was so long, so you couldn't really see the end. So we kind of wanted to just like get further in, and we noticed a garage
Oh my god, yeah.
a little bit farther back. So we kind of like, I mean, we approached it. We went to go see if the doors were locked or if there were any windows. And we went around, and the first door was locked on the side that we were coming up to it. And so we went around, and a door was unlocked. So we went inside,
Oh my god.
and there were car parts up the wazoo. It was
Shit.
so weird. We were like, okay, this is kind of, I don't know, this is kind of fishy.
Yeah.
And what didn't help this situation, in the back there was this beat up Cadillac on bricks that was kind of hidden behind the sort of garage, if you'd say.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we can easily just like cut like
Yeah,
in
we're gonna
between,
cut. Don't
because
worry.
I'm like
Yeah.
super down. I'm just like freaking.
Yeah, that's okay.
But
You can tell that this place might have been a place that was like a place that like people would go to like strip cars and stuff like that. I think that's what you told me at the time. It looks like someone brought cars here and would strip them of their parts and then sell the parts. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
you can go ahead, Emily. Keep saying the story then.
No, I'm just saying like that's
No,
what you told me at
okay.
the time.
Keep going then. Keep going if you know the story. No, go ahead.
Are you real for me or are you being sarcastic?
Go ahead. I don't care. Emily.
Oh,
Go
okay.
ahead.
Well, I don't know how you got home. I can't remember.
How did I get home?
No, did you like? So you just came home after that?
Pretty much.
Okay. That was, I guess, the first part, like the first like time that we saw that you guys at least experienced the house.
Yeah, because we went back.
Yeah. He's done.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, first time we went to go see the house, and the second time, was it directly on Halloween? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was.
I don't
It
know,
was.
maybe, but like I remember. Yeah, probably. But
Night
like I
of.
remember going and like you driving us at the time. You had the
Yeah.
van, and like you dropped us off at the beginning of the street. Then we had to. It was, I think it was just Matt and I and Max, and maybe and Antoine and Chloe.
Yeah, Antoine and Chloe. Yeah.
which are our cousins. But
Yeah.
then we walked up to the property.
Yeah, so we
And
parked
that was
like
a
super
night.
far away too.
You didn't
Yeah.
even park.
Yeah.
I drove you up to a certain point, and then you guys walked through the woods. I remember.
No, we
to
didn't walk
get there,
through the
no?
woods.
No, we didn't.
Why would we walk through the woods?
Okay, no.
No, it was just a
Mm-mm.
street, so we walked
Yeah,
on
we
the
just walked
side
on
of
the street.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah.
So
It was
you walked up all
creepy
the way.
though. It was really weird. But I
Yeah.
remember like going.
Oh,
They had automatic lights.
from what I
thought it was
remember,
abandoned.
okay, took a freaking long time just
Yeah.
to walk there.
Yeah.
And so when we got there, it was so much creepier because it's a one way in, one way out to get to the house. Okay, if you'd say,
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
and there were no cars
Mm-mm.
passing.
No.
I mean, one every freaking 10 minutes, let's say,
Yeah.
5-10 minutes.
Mhm.
And so we're like going full like super like dark and creepy, you know. It's like it is dark and creepy,
Yeah.
but we're just like approaching the house,
Super
going
stealth
around
mode.
it, super stealth. Like we're whispering, we're not even like talking, we're doing like freaking hand movements and stuff.
Very FBI.
Yeah, and so we get like super close, and we notice a dirt path, like a dirt road, right next to the house, as if it would be the second driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so on that driveway, it's pitch black. It's pitch black from what I remember.
Yep.
And the only lights nearby are the lights from the house, which is weird because who's paying?
It was
Exactly.
abandoned.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
If
Like,
it's abandoned, then what's going on here?
I'm pretty sure there was like one automatic light.
yeah,
we were
some of that.
Every time we like, I think we were trying to walk by it, and it would like
It would
it would
turn
turn on
on.
or something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know.
And so, well, you guys remember the garage door being
Oh my.
the garage being locked, right? I told you guys.
Yeah, the
that it
first
was
time
locked.
you went. Yeah.
Well, when we got there, it was
It's open.
right off the bat. The first thing that I noticed when I did notice the garage
Yeah.
was the door being open.
Yeah.
Well, not
Open,
being open. It
hello.
was
It
open.
was open. Yeah.
Which was super, super, super creepy. And right away, I'm like, okay, no, this is not a
Yeah.
good sign. We're leaving. We're dipping.
Oh yeah.
Gotta go. Bye.
And we're
Have a
skirting
nice
away.
time.
Yeah.
It
Oh
was
my
at
gosh.
night too. Like so, like if someone did live there, like there had to be like there would have been like cars, at least one car,
Yeah.
because it's not somewhere you can. It's not like downtown. Like it's not you can't
Yeah.
walk around. Like it's not. You need a car to live there. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't kept either. Like it wasn't well kept. Like
Mm.
spooky. Spooky.
Okay. So you guys saw the car, and then after that,
I didn't see a car.
Saw the car.
no,
what are you
sorry, my brain just fried itself.
It was just because
Bye.
the door was open to like the
Yeah.
like shed / garage that was like in the back. That was locked right before. It was the same door.
It's true because you weren't there, Emily. Huh? You didn't
No.
see.
She was
you
like our
should have been
she
there.
was
What
our
I
Uber.
did is me and Chloe went
Our
for a
s-
drive.
Not Chloe. you
No,
were
Chloe was with
Sabrina.
us. Chloe
were
was
Sabrina.
100% with us.
Sabrina, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Sabrina, yeah.
I was with my friend Sabrina, and we decided to go for a drive, and we decided to go to Tim Hortons, and we got donuts,
Rude.
and then we came back, and we're driving up the street, and we don't see like anyone or something like that, so we turn around and we start heading back, and we see along the road these people walking.
Wonder who it is.
Wonder who it is. Ha ha ha.
Yep.
That's us, bitches.
Welcome.
Wow, we're very like.
Dead.
Low
Yeah.
energy today.
I am dead. Well, no, we spoke a lot though for the first and the second one.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, yeah. And I'm not explaining the story right. I could
That's
have been a
okay.
lot faster, like more
No.
expressions and stuff. But I'm just like kind of dead.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be tired, but
We'll
I
be a
am.
lot more animated when we talk about next episode. But it was spooky because these random kids come out, and I'm like, who the frick are these kids? And I think I spooked you guys too at that point. My gosh.
Even though you knew we were there, I
Yeah.
don't understand why that was spooky. There was no one else there.
No.
It was a big group. Like we were a lot of people. What, we were 5 people.
But it's because I like came
Yeah.
up right behind you guys or something like that, and I like stopped on the side of the road, and you guys like
Jumped into the van.
Yeah, we all jumped in, and we
Oh my
weren't
God, I
even,
remember-
like sitting down. We are all
The
we all
back
had
seats were down.
the back seats were down, and we just
we had
jumped
too
in.
many people or something.
And
That
what
was so
sucks
funny.
too with the van at the time, the rear shocks were shot,
Yep.
so it was just bottoming out. And
Yeah.
if you hit a bump, and there was this huge speed bump right after you picked us up, once we hit it, it would just keep bouncing for like a good 10 to 15 seconds, which is rough, which is freaking rough.
Yeah. It was fun though. Yeah, I remember
Ugh.
everyone's like cramming into the trunk pretty much of this van. I was like trying to like not like tumble over.
Mm.
Good times.
Was your brother there?
No,
No. Okay.
definitely not. Because he wasn't into it. He was there.
Yeah.
But he just didn't come.
Okay.
He was like, "Oh, that's dumb."
Cool. Well, do you guys want to hear about one of the landmarks of Toronto?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay. Here's a little summary of it's called the Gibraltar Point Lighthouse.
Okay.
So along, like, you know how Toronto is along one of the lakes, right? The main lakes, Lake
Ontario.
Lake Ontario, yeah.
Yeah.
And along the lake, like, it's not perfect land, it's not straight. There are little islands that dot it along the side. And
A bit, yeah.
there are some that are called the Toronto Islands, like right next to it. So back in the 1800s, in January, I think 1815, there were basically soldiers from Fort York, I guess, who weren't that far. They paid a visit to one of the first, like, this lighthouse specifically, because, you know, he sold bootleg beer, and he, you know, it was kind of like a, what's it called? There's a specific word for, like, you know, bootleg beer, because at the time it was the 1800s. Prohibition, yeah, it was during the Prohibition area. So he sold Prohibition beer, and, you know, it was like extra money.
Okay.
And basically, I guess a fight broke out because of, like, payment or something like that within the lighthouse. And the soldiers, they killed the first lighthouse master, the first lighthouse
For what?
keeper. Yeah. Oh,
Why?
because of payment or something like that, I think. Like, or I think, like,
Wow.
Like, it doesn't say why. There is no reason. It's just that was what happened.
Okay.
And basically, the drunken soldiers, they tried to hide the body by dismembering the corpse and concealing his remains near the lighthouse.
Oh my god, that's nasty.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, at least that's how the legend goes. Like, a lot of people suspect that it's a lot of fairy tale. People have claimed to have found, like, coffin parts and, like, a jawbone fracture in the 1890s, sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
But it was apparently impossible to prove that it was, like, the lighthouse keeper, like, the first one.
Okay.
Like, it's technically an urban myth, but it's a fun one, you know? Like, lighthouses always kind of freak me out anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because they're at least kind of creepy to be in.
A little
Like,
bit.
they're cool to look at.
Yeah.
They're pretty fascinating. It's kind of interesting to see like what they used to like because like there was a use for it. You know, like now I feel like people just visit and they're like, oh my god, it's like nice.
Yeah.
But like back then, like it was actually it was meant, you know, for something.
Yeah. Well, it's still meant today. Like,
No, yeah, but like I
But
mean,
we
a
have
lot
GPS
of them
and
now
stuff like
are
that.
like yeah, GPS. Like you know, you're not gonna like smash into the lands. Like
exactly.
if you have GPS, like I'm sure almost every boat has GPS.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, I can't remember, like, what specifically, like, they used for the lights and stuff like that. Like, they definitely didn't use a candle. Like, oof.
No.
It's not what that was used
It was
for.
definitely an actual light. I'm pretty sure it was an actual light.
Yeah. There's a story, I don't know who, I listened to it on a podcast, another story, where, like, this lighthouse, was manned by 3 people, but, they're, like, it's one of many lighthouses along a small coast of islands.
Okay.
And, apparently there was a big storm or something like that, and the other island, like, because they're close enough to be able to see each other, but not that, you know, far away. And, you know, they couldn't see the lighthouse anymore, and they, you know, assumed it's because of the storm, we can't see them. And I think 3 days go by, and they realize the light's out, so they go and investigate. And all they find, like, they don't find the men or anything like that. There's no one there. And all they find is, like, food that looked like it had been untouched and was going to be eaten, you know, for something. I think one of the coats was missing, but 2 weren't. So it's a little
interesting,
weird, you know?
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Weird.
It's just a lot of creepy lighthouse stories.
Yeah, I feel like lighthouses are kind of creepy in general.
Yeah.
Like they're interesting, but I don't know, something about it.
Have you ever visited any before?
Lighthouses?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lighthouse in there's a lighthouse in Newfoundland that I visited the last time I went down, and it's really nice. I don't know,
Yeah.
like
Is it like the
For me,
normal,
anything
like,
is-
candy stripe red kind of?
no, it wasn't striped, but it was red. It was red and white. Like the top of it was red, and then the rest of it was white.
Beautiful.
But it was, I don't know. For me, like, my soft spot is like Newfoundland. Like, I think anything in Newfoundland's nice. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's just like, I mean, the lighthouse was nice, obviously, but it's like on this cliff with like
Yeah.
these cool paths where you could like walk down closer
It's
to the
a nice
water. Like,
aesthetic.
it's just nice in general.
yeah.
You know,
Like, it's
I don't remember what it was though.
just imagine being a lighthouse keeper though, like
be
being near
boring.
those rocks and like living there.
I'd be bored.
most of the time.
I'd be so tired.
What if you had
Imagine just
Wi-Fi?
sitting there being like,
Watching for ships.
that's it.
Yeah.
You just sit there and you don't do anything. Like I don't. For me, that'd be so boring. I mean, like props to like everyone who has done it or like is doing it right now. But like, I don't know. For me, I like need to do stuff. Like for me, that would be too tiring.
Yeah,
Maybe
like-
they have others like responsibilities that I just don't know of. If it were just sitting there like watching and like making sure the light doesn't die, then like
Yeah, that
I'd be
too.
tired.
But like, you know, keeping the place clean, I guess. Making sure to like scan
Yeah.
the shoreline to make sure there's nothing that washes up on it, like from a shipwreck at sea or something like that, I guess.
yeah, I guess.
Or maybe you're receiving like transmissions from other places that need like help. But I assume that's what a Coast Guard is, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, definitely. That's definitely what the Coast Guard does.
Yeah.
Coast Guard.
It's really like creepy though to think that like someone who lives there all year round and like some people like I don't know like what the routine is for most of them, but like they don't get checked up on very often.
No.
Like they're
No,
expected to like
that's the thing.
be very like independent of their own, at least for like, you know, smaller places and stuff like that. But,
Yeah.
like, imagine back then, like back in the 1800s.
And they're in the middle of nowhere.
middle of back
also,
nowhere.
so
and
it's not
that's your
like-
only job.
Like it's usually just like this dirt road that like leads you to like a lighthouse. Like, it was just not near other like houses and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's usually to signal like you're coming into the coast soon, so like don't come here.
Yeah. I haven't had a lot of creepy places experiences.
Me neither.
That's English. But I remember like my old, like before we moved into an apartment building, like our old in our old neighborhood, there was a house around the corner, and it was just like weird, and like people would move in for a month, move out. Like it was always that. Like there was always people moving. Like it would like move out, and then it would be empty for 2 months, and then someone would move in for like a month and a half, and then the people they would move out, and it would just stay empty. Like it was very that, and it was very creepy. Never really saw like I don't really know what actually if it actually was like haunted and stuff like that. Maybe it was, but for me it was just creepy. But also my mom's retired nurse, so like when she was working, she would work at the children's hospital. So I remember when I was younger, still living at that house, to get there, like my dad would go, like we'd go pick her up or whatever after a shift, and there was this weird like white, like almost like a mansion, like it was huge along the main road, and it kind of popped out, like it was completely different from all the other houses, and very like Mediterranean, like tropical ish looking, like white, like very that
Pristine.
yeah
Okay.
and I remember always driving by, there was no cars in the garage, like I mean in the garage, bitch, the fuck, how do I know if there was a car in the garage or not? In the driveway. Oh my goodness. But oh my god, I'm such a fucking mess. But but I remember driving, and like it was just always empty. Like there's nothing there, like nothing.
Yeah.
But like the front yard, and like was always like well kept and stuff. So it was like, what the fuck is going on? I remember driving by once while I was going to pick my mom up. Love that. To pick her up from work, and this old lady was standing on the front porch, like old, like I mean like mid-90s, like very old, with a cane, like wrinkly, like hunchbacked. The main door was wide open. Wide open, and she was just standing there.
Spooky.
Doing nothing, bitch.
Watching people.
I looked at her, and she looked at my car. I don't know if she looked at me, but it felt like she was looking at me, and she just followed like my like stare, like she just like looked at me until we were out of sight. I was like, what the fuck? Like it was so creepy, and like,
oh my gosh,
coming back, she was still there with her door wide open. I'm like, why the fuck are you leaving your door open? Like it was really creepy. And then I remember once driving by, and I saw her in her like there was like one window on the second floor facing the main road. I remember driving by, and ever since that happened, obviously I was looking at it because I was like, whoa, there's something weird with this house, you know. And I drove by and like just saw her face, like she was standing and I shut the window, just like looking outside. Like, what the fuck? Like it was so weird. I think that was my like creepiest, like actual like scary place experience. Well, even though it's not very like a scary place.
Well,
it's just a scary person.
I don't think it's really like an abandoned house. Well, it is a. No one is living there right now, and within the past couple months, I think.
Yeah.
But I recently heard that in the town next door, we would usually go for like a drive. Yeah. Right, we would pass almost right in front of it. It's basically at night. This place is sketch. Like it's super creepy, super creepy. Yeah. There's houses a lot closer than the abandoned house, the one that I just talked about real quick.
Yeah.
But it makes it so much creepier because there's so much more activity. Yet it's not like the safest area, but it's not the worst, you know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
it's like some places do have that energy and that vibe, and like it might not be from something paranormal. It might have been just from something that happened there that like stained the area.
Let me rephrase that. Okay, let me keep going.
Ignore the We'll cut that
Bro,
out.
we'll cut that out. Emily, I was actually going with
Yeah.
something.
Go.
Anyway, basically, what happened? And this is actually in the news. Apparently, I don't remember
Really?
seeing this, but I think a father or some parent murdered one of their kids.
Oh.
Basically, yeah,
Holy
in the
crap.
house. I don't know if it was many or if it was just one, but I know some child was murdered by a parent in that house,
Jeez.
and no one's living in there right now. It's really spooky. Yeah,
That's a really
Talk
sweet.
Not
about
even joking.
dark energy.
and it's creepy. It looks almost like a castle, yet it's not even
yeah?
like huge. It's kind of the it's just a very
Weird.
very odd scenario,
That's really creepy.
especially for like
I'm
a small
curious
town
now
like
where
that.
that house is.
I'll show it to you one day. We'll go there for Halloween. It's in this. It's actually I think it's
Yeah.
a street away from the haunted house.
Yeah.
Oh,
Interesting.
Yeah.
interesting.
Where did we? Okay, we've gone places. We've gone to spooky places while we were driving.
Where?
Especially like, well, I can't. Was it the same Halloween? No, it must have been like last Halloween or something like that. We went. I think it was last Halloween. We went driving, out, in the dark, super nighttime. I think you got your car or something like that. No, you didn't. Anyway, it was. I don't know when it was specifically, but like we went out driving, and we're like exploring the neighborhood, going down spooky roads. We're kind of in like the countryside area, and like we go down a road, and we
What?
I can't remember if like which section is which, but like we go down the road, and we like it's a dead end basically. Like we can't go any further, and it ends at this super dark and creepy house right next to the water. No, it's the same area as that other house. Anyway,
Just
the one that
water.
you were just talking about, the same area, but like it's super dark and super creepy, and like the creepiest part is that there were people like by the water.
But what
I think
water?
they were smoking pot or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Oh my
And
God,
we
okay.
just
Well,
stood there
that
and
okay,
flashed our lights.
there.
Hello.
I was actually oddly enough. Basically,
kept, like,
the other
spinning
Nicholas,
around.
okay, he's very hard to scare, even with horror movies. By
Yeah.
itself, he never jumps, he never flinches, barely even blinks.
Yeah.
In a horror movie, okay.
Yeah.
And so when something spooky happens,
Mhm.
you listen.
Yeah.
With his body language, if he's spooked, you
gotta
get out of town. You turn around
Get
and
out
you
of
get out of
Dodge.
town.
Yeah.
Turn around and get out of town.
Basically, in that same area you're talking about,
Yeah.
it was the same scenario. We were driving at night, him and his brother Noah,
Yeah. Oh, I remember the story.
and so yeah, we were driving in that area, and we parked and got out on that gravel area because it's kind of like it's a boating dock,
Yeah.
and it's a park right next door, and there's houses on the other side, and it's in this kind of small, like few foot circle, just enough for this car to turn around basically and get out of the boating dock area.
Yeah.
And so we parked, got out, and we went to go see because it was a really nice day. It was seriously beautiful outside. And it was like midnight. I gotta say at least midnight, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. So it was dead.
I thought
There
you
was
meant
no
day,
one
and I was
out.
like, oh,
Oh yeah.
that makes it more spooky. Anyway.
And so we got out and we were just talking for like a couple minutes, and it did not last long. We were not there long because right away, Nicholas turned around and he was like, "What's that?" And he like started like moving his head with like large eyes. I'm like, "Yo, quit messing around with us." And his brother's like, "Hey, come on, whatever. What is it?" It's like, and then we were actually kind of getting a little nervous. We were getting a little curious. What is he looking at? First of all, because I did not see. I did not see what he was looking at. I did not care. I didn't want any business of that. I didn't want no freaking spookiness. Or as if he would freaking run away, and then we'd have to go like look for him in the woods or something.
Oh my
Because the
goodness.
woods would be right nearby too, not
Exactly.
far away.
Yeah.
And then he jumps out and scares us. You know,
he's
basically
done
that's
before.
what usually he would do. That's the
Yeah.
routine with him at night.
Yeah.
The routine.
Pretty much, almost.
Yeah.
And so he's like,
What's that?
I'm telling you, within like 20 seconds of him like examining what it could be, because it's pitch black. There's no lampposts. There's no lights.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's
let's say it's
dark
1
as
o'clock in the morning.
fuck.
Everyone's
Yeah.
sleeping. Okay.
Everyone's supposed to be sleeping.
Yeah.
It's like a quiet
And
suburb,
so
you know?
we just had enough time to react from seeing him whip around, turning around, okay, and running away so fast. Gravel was kicking off,
Jeez.
and he's like, run, 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 and we just started
That's the
sprinting
worst.
to the car, and he's like, dude, I swear, right in the car, right when we got in the car, he's like, dude, I swear I saw like some freaking, I don't know, I thought it was like either a big cat or it was like some tiger and freaking who knows what, you know
Like
what I
a
mean?
fucking
though?
yeah.
Yeah.
Cougar, like a...
But apparently cougars have been seen in that
Oh,
area,
yeah.
oddly enough.
And like lynxes and like
Exactly.
Yeah,
And it's
definitely.
it's not, it's not safe. to
No,
be at
they're
night
they're
there
literally
if you know that.
It's kind of wild,
They're-
you know?
Yeah.
they're literally just like Canadian like lions. And
Pretty much,
tigers.
yeah.
Like, that's legit what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like, it's
they're also
spooky.
like, you know, cats
Spooky,
and dogs. They walk around the neighborhood, like, you know.
Yeah, but they're
They do their
also
own
Yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah,
So
but
They're
you're
not
walking,
supposed to be in this
you're walking
area,
around the
but-
neighborhood. It's like, oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
get the mail. Oh, there's a lynx right there. Hey, Jay.
yeah,
how's it
they're
going?
also like malicious, deadly animals.
Yeah,
but I guess we'll
seriously.
forget about that part.
Yeah.
Like I remember like when we went to BC like years ago.
Huh.
I was like
Eons ago.
I was the one I was like, oh my god, I really want to go for a hike.
Mhm.
Oh my god, it's so nice. Like, it was so nice. It was during the summer, and I just wasn't really thinking. And my mom looked at me, she's like, but there's like, because there were signs. We were in like a little small town, like a ski village or whatever,
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
in a
they're so
condo,
pretty.
and there was these signs being like, saying that like there's been like bear spottings and like lynxes and like mountain lions and stuff like that. And like there's all this equipment that you like have to bring to be safe, like when you're hiking in places like that. I was like, oh fuck. I was like, no hiking? Like what the fuck? Like I probably honestly would have backed out anyways, but
Mm.
oh fuck.
The
That had nothing to
wilderness
do with
is
it anyways.
something intense.
Yeah.
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 But it's actually funny you say that because there's something that happened to me that's a little bit similar.
Please tell us.
So this is a few years ago. And we, a group of my friends and my brother, we used to like to just like hang out like at night. Just pretty much like what we do at times, like
Okay,
drive
okay.
around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like you do, as
And
you're
like
young.
for me, like in the city, like I live in Ottawa, and like it like really like you drive 15 minutes and like you're in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. Like it's very easy to like get out of the whole city vibe. We crossed onto like the Quebec side and we went to where like these friends like they used to live growing up. I was along this lake, and so we get off or whatever and we start walking, and it's this really small like skinny like dirt path through the woods, and then you hit these train tracks, and then like the path continued and went down along the water. And there was like this one big rock that like you just sit on. Like it wasn't really wasn't much. And we're sitting there and we hear like cracking in the woods and stuff. And we're like, okay, like maybe it's an animal. Like I was fine. I was like, maybe it's just an animal. Like he's probably just walking by. Like whatever. And we were like, what the fuck is that? Like we stand up and we're like looking, and there's like bushes, and it's like the woods. Like we're in the middle of the fucking woods along this lake.
Oh.
And then we we hear growling. It sounded like a bear. Like it was actually just petrifying. But the thing is, like raccoons growl and it sounds like bears, so it was most likely a raccoon. But it was growling and it wouldn't stop. And by the way, like we're like in the middle of like it's like one way in, one way out. Like it's like you're in there, like you have to go out the same way. And we're 4 people, and it's like a skinny tiny path. We're like through the woods. It's like one person at a time type shit.
Yeah.
And so we hear this like growling, and we're like, what the fuck? Like it actually scared the shit out of us. And so my brother's like, run! And then like just like screaming. And like For me, like, that's such a scary situation because you don't know what's going on almost.
Run.
Like, run! And I was like, oh my god, what the fuck? And obviously, I'm the chubby one, so I'm behind the line of people running. And so we were running, and we hit the railroad that, like, pretty much, like, divides the path into two. And I'm kind of like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know, like, where do I go? I keep running, and my shoe falls off. While we're running away, literally like the scene out of like a fucking horror movie.
Bruh.
We're in the middle of the woods, and my shoe
Rest
falls
in
off.
peace, you're dead.
And
The
like,
shoe.
so I was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, I have to get my shoe. Obviously, I'm not gonna leave my shoe in the middle of the woods. As I turn back, I don't look behind me. I just look at the ground, try to look for my shoe, take it, and run. But by then, everyone else is already in the car.
What?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh,
Because it was
really?
in the middle of the woods, but it's also somewhat close to the road. But some like,
But it still took.
but
a
they're in
little
the
bit of
they're
a-
in the fucking car.
Yeah.
And I look, and when I look up, there's two, like the path divided into two.
Uh-huh.
I was like, what the fuck? So I was like, where the fuck do I go? Like,
Oh,
my
no.
mind was like, which one's the closest one to get to the road? Like, I just was so confused because like I wasn't following anyone anymore. So I was like, what the fuck? Like, it was really weird. And so I just like
Oh.
picked one and like kept going. And like everyone was like laughing in the car. I was like, I literally could have died. Like my shoe was, I wouldn't have died. It was probably a raccoon. But I was like, my
Gosh.
shoe fell off. Like I fully had to stop. And like,
But it's scary.
it's so
That's rough.
scary, especially not knowing what it is. Like growling. Like it sounded like it was a huge fucking bear.
What if
probably
it
wasn't.
wasn't a bear? What
Maybe it
if,
was a bear.
Or a raccoon? What if it was something else?
I mean, I don't think there's much else in that area. If
Honestly.
anything, actually, like it probably would have either been a bear or a raccoon because there's a lot of bears in that area. But yeah. Also, one last
Ooh,
quick thing.
creepy.
In Ottawa, there's this hotel.
Mhm.
It's the Chateau Laurier. And it's downtown, and it looks like over like the Ottawa River behind it, and like the Parliament, and like downtown stuff like that. It's really nice. It was built in 1912, so it's really fucking old.
Holy
And it
moly.
looks like a castle, which is why it's Chateau.
AKA, it's beautiful.
Yeah. AKA, it's spooky as fuck.
Ooh.
So my parents bought me like I think it was my 13th birthday.
Mhm.
They got me a night to stay in the hotel
Oh,
Really?
You actually.
for my
That
birthday.
is so much fun.
Yeah. And
It's like a chill night in a hotel room.
yeah, but that was a fun fucking like birthday.
By yourself though, or?
No,
Okay, no.
it was. I think I stayed with my dad. I
Okay.
think, anyways, and like, it was so spooky. Like I was excited because I had always wanted to stay in there because like you see the outside and you're kind of like, what the fuck, like. There has to be something inside. And there was always this thing of like, oh my god, I don't want to butcher this, but there was a girl that was missing for years in Ottawa. And like the last time they had seen her was in the Chateau Laurier. And I don't remember, like, I remember being young, like, I don't know, I don't want to butcher it, like, but I remember being young and like there was like those missing signs everywhere
Yeah.
downtown for years. For years and years and years and years. To a point where it was like, I would walk by and be like, oh my god, like, yo, like, it's been 10 years since I've been seeing these signs. Like,
Yeah, and
What
all
girl?
from the
where is this
Laurier.
girl? I have
Spooky.
no idea.
I don't
and I
know.
don't remember, like, I don't know if it was like,
Uh,
if she was found or like if something was like resolved. I don't fucking know. But something about like the last time, maybe it's wrong, I'm wrong, but something about her being last seen in her like hotel room.
Yeah. It's really spooky.
But so like from there, I was like, oh my god.
Kind of
like,
reminds you of
spooky.
what's her face? Something Lamb.
what you talking about?
Lamb.
Oh, there was at the Cecil Hotel or something.
Oh, at the
like
Cecil, where she kept poking out her head out of the
Oh,
That.
elevator,
Yeah.
being like,
Creepy.
and she died in the
Although you know.
that was really spooky. But
Yeah.
so
But
yeah.
yeah.
So anyways, I always want to stay in this hotel, and it was very like it's very old, like
Uh-huh.
everything's like gold plated, very fancy 5-star hotel. So it was like bougie as fuck, right? Living my life, and
Prime
then
Minister like level of
Right.
staying.
right. Well, it was actually I'm pretty sure it was no, or was,
Commissioned by.
or was built for the prime minister at the time, which
Pretty
was
sure.
Sir Wilfrid Laurier, which was why the Chateau Laurier.
Wasn't he
Anyway,
the first English.
what's it called? Yeah, stayed there. Really fucking spooky. I remember walking through the main lobby, and there was these random hallways that would like look like they were never ending.
Yes.
And I walked through this little part where I think like the hotel was. It was at night, where it was like I think it was closed-ish at least.
Yeah.
And it looked like a lounge area with a piano, and it was covered by like a white like draped. Like it was very
Yeah.
classic. Like everything was covered in like white
Classic.
drapes, like very spooky haunted house esque. And like I
It's
looked
worse.
down one of the hallways, it was pitch black with this just couch, and it was covered in this white drape. Like it looked really spooky. Like it looked just like what you would see like in a fucking horror movie. And I was sleeping. I didn't sleep the whole night.
Oh.
I didn't sleep a fucking minute. That shit was spooky as fuck. I felt like if someone was watching me the whole entire time. It was so scary. And
Honestly, you probably were being.
I was probably being probably because it was there were the beds, and then against the window all the way at the end there was these two like armchairs,
Oh my god.
and the shit was old, like old school, like it wasn't renovated. Like this was like old like styled like chairs,
Yeah, exactly. Like armchairs.
like very like your grandma, like,
Wooden.
very that. Not your grandma, but like
This is
your
mine.
grandma and like grandma in general,
It would
like
have probably
grandma
been
house
wicker
type
if it
shit.
was, you know.
It was so spooky. I didn't sleep the whole night because like there's all these things of like, oh my god, like go to this floor or like stay in this suite, and like people see like a girl, or like people hear like girls laughing, like little children laughing, or like
Yeah, exactly.
people have like walked through the hallway at night or like into the stairwell and like seen like X, Y, and Z. Like it's very creepy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now I don't like that place and I don't want to go back.
It still looks pretty, but
It's
on the
very
outside.
pretty, but like it's old.
Exactly.
It was actually, it's weird to think about. It was built for it cost $2 million to build.
At the time.
That's insane. That's so cheap.
Yeah. Well, at the time, $2 million. Imagine how
Yeah,
much
that's
it was.
true.
That's
What-
worth not.
When
this
was
time.
that though?
1912.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
like
Yeah.
triple that.
Probably.
Oh, or even more. But
Yeah,
still, the
probably.
thought of like,
Add like 10. 10 others.
yeah, but Ottawa was a
10 mil.
sketchy ass place. That was.
Uh,
There's this place. No, okay, Matt, where we went driving with Nick through those like windy places, like roads and stuff with nice houses and stuff.
oh yeah.
That place used to be called Suicide Hill.
Really?
Yeah, because
That's interesting.
yeah,
Oh,
During the-
yeah.
because it used to be a
A hot spot.
no, no, it's because it used to like during the winter it was like it was like a ski
Oh,
hill kind
It
of,
must have been so
Oh,
scary.
and there was a
no.
ski jump. It was just the one jump from what because we stopped along the water that was like on the other side and read one of like the little posters that like they explained like the history or whatever.
Oh.
And they said there was a ski jump and it was called Suicide Hill, and you would take a tram from downtown to that hill, and apparently thousands of people would like jump off of this one like single like ski jump, and it was called Suicide Hill.
gosh.
That's fucking
And
creepy.
they
That's
died?
horrible.
I don't know. It didn't say anything about it, but I'm guessing yeah. Like I'm sure. I don't know if someone would just call Suicide Hill just for nothing. I mean, it's possible that they just did it because it was like a scary hill. But,
Or it was at such a like sharp angle that it would have been suicide.
well, no,
to
because
go
it was
off
just like
Eh,
with like one jump,
yeah.
and it's not that big of a hill.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh,
Like it's not like a big mountain.
Hilarious. Are you like?
I'm tired.
Me too. I think we should wrap it up.
I think
for
we
you.
should wrap it up because I'm about to fall asleep.
Yeah.
I've been kind of falling asleep this whole time, and so
I've been yawning like crazy, like
yeah.
trying not to yawn right into the mic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening. Come and check in like in like 25 years when we post again. Just kidding. And
Hope you enjoyed this
Have a great
ramble
life.
of nothing and everything at the same time.
yeah,
And,
sorry we were kind of boring, but
Yeah,
we're tired, so just
it's okay.
cut us some slack, bitches.
Matt's like falling asleep right now. His eyes
Yeah,
are
I think Matt's
closed. It's
tired.
fine. Say goodnight, and then we'll go to bed.
Yeah, that's done. Okay.
Just say
So,
goodnight.
guys, bye, bitches.